This week, our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, finally got a face-to-face meeting with the President, and that meant Americans were treated to members of the Australian media. Here are a couple of examples.
Where do you come from?
I'm from Australia.
Who are you with?
The Sydney Morning Herald.
Nasty guy. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to ask a question.
Right, go ahead.
And here is the second example. This cringeworthy question had social media ablaze.
You have within your power, you're the most powerful man on earth. Why don't you just enable Ukraine to finish this war tomorrow?
Well, if you knew anything about what you were talking about, you'd be able. You do. I don't think you do, really. I don't think you do, because it's a little more complicated than that. But it sounds easy. We're in the process of trying to make a deal. If we make a deal, that's great. If we don't make a deal, it'll be a lot of people are going to be paying a big price.
Oh dear, such a rude, embarrassingly ignorant question, if you didn't call it that. CJ, what did you make of it?
Well, the first thing I made of it is that we needed you in that press conference, actually, to ask some real questions that people actually give a damn about. And maybe you could teach your colleagues a little, thing or two about foreign policy. President Trump has an incredible record to stand on when it comes to leadership on the world stage. Look at just what happened just a few weeks ago as it relates to Palestine and Israel conflict. This is a man who has made himself the president of peace and will continue to pursue that all across the world. Vladimir Putin respects him, and if he doesn't respect him, he certainly fears him. And Zelensky knows that at the end of the day, that President Trump is who he actually needs to deal with. And I think that he is working hard to stay in the president's good graces. He even showed up to the White House in a suit this past week. And I think that's an indication that he realizes just how important his relationship with President Trump is going to be. And so, the media can do what they do and commentate and, do whatever they will, but President Trump will continue to lead from the front, not from the back. This is no longer the Biden White House. This is the Trump White House. This is the deal maker. This is a peace seeker, and that's exactly what we will get.
Now, we had this memorable moment when Sky News' Andrew Cornell made the president aware of some of Kevin Rudd's comments about him over the years.
Even things the ambassador said about you in the past, the Australian ambassador?
I don't know anything about him. I mean, if he said bad, then maybe he'll like to apologize. I really don't know. Did an ambassador say something bad about me? Don't tell me. I don't. Where is he? Is he still working for you?
Yeah.
You said bad?
Before I took this position, Mr. President.
I don't like you either. I don't, and I probably never will. Go ahead.
Oh, dear. What I loved most about that was the current Australian Prime Minister just sitting there laughing at his own ambassador being humiliated. That was the President's exchange with former Australian PM and the current ambassador, Kevin Rudd. What did Americans make of that?
I think it would affirm the fact that you know exactly where you stand with this president at any given time. He doesn't mince words. And so I don't know if the Australians are smart, maybe they'll get rid of this ambassador pretty soon. It sounds like he may be on his way out. The prime minister didn't seem too eager to defend him in that room yesterday. So I guess we'll see. Maybe this story is still developing.
Yes, we think it may be, though the Prime Minister has today come out and expressed his support for his ambassador again. Now, CJ, the two allies did sign an agreement to develop supplies of rare earths and critical minerals. This is going to be combating China's dominance of that market, and Beijing is not too happy about that. China is the world's leading producer of rare earths, and it's in a trade war with the US right now, CJ.
It is, but I think this underscores, again, President Trump's commitment to America first leadership all throughout the world. And so, we're not here to placate China. We're not here to play, second fiddle to them. We're going to continue to lead from the front. And again, I understand why this is so, I guess, discombobulating to the Chinese, because they dealt with folks like Joe Biden for 4 long years. But there is a new sheriff in town, and President Trump has made that clear. And he's willing to work with, our global partners all throughout the world to achieve exactly what he ran on and what the American people gave him a mandate to achieve in this past year's election.
Now, sticking with trade and tariffs and the efforts of the Trump administration to bring manufacturing back to the US, let's hear from NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang.
This last week was a historic week. We manufactured the most advanced AI chips in the world, in the most advanced fab in the world, here in America for the first time. All of this started with President Trump wanting to reindustrialize the United States. His terrorist was a pressing agent in making this possible at the speed that we're doing. And now, shortly after less than a year, we're now manufacturing the most advanced chips for AI here in the United States.
What other impacts are you seeing from these tariffs? Has it seen inflation jump up dramatically? Have we seen some of the consequences the so-called experts told us was going to happen almost immediately?
No, we haven't seen that. But what we have seen is the experts, again, as you just pointed out, be disproven yet again. I don't know why we continue to call these people experts anymore. I think we need to come up with a new word for them. I'm inclined to use the word liar, but, you know, I like to be polite. I'll tell you what we are seeing as a result of President Trump's bold economic policy. We're seeing record job creation. We're seeing incredible investments, not just domestically from American companies, but international countries saying, I want to bet on America because America is in good hands under this president. And of course, you hear from incredible business leaders like the CEO of NVIDIA and many others who are lauding President Trump for his leadership on this front. And so, you know, while the writers of, you know, random publications and in the media who are betting on President Trump's failure, I actually want to remind them of a quote from President Obama: to root for the failure of a president is to root for the country's failure. And so maybe they would be wise to, I don't know, just hope that President Trump knows what he's doing, because if history is any judge of what lies ahead, I'm pretty confident in his ability to deliver for the American people in the future and for many years to come.
Well, I hope you're right. And let's end on some good news. The woke and woeful Cincinnati police chief, Terry Thigi, has been placed on administrative leave, and there's going to be an internal investigation on the effectiveness of her leadership in the Cincinnati Police Department. She, of course, came to national prominence after a number of white people were bashed in what is alleged to be race-based hate crimes, essentially. The footage was absolutely shocking, and yet the police chief had this to say about it.
Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident.
Talk about shooting the messenger, CJ. She seemed to be more upset about these clips going viral and some attention being brought to these horrendous crimes, acts of violence, than the fact that they actually happened. And you had mobs of people attacking a couple of victims who were left with serious injuries.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, she's asking us to just completely ignore what we all just saw with our own two eyes. It's actually insane to even think about. But this is exactly why President Trump and so many people on the right have gone after DEI. You know, these people don't know how to lead. They did not earn it. That is actually what DEI should stand for. But beyond that, it's exactly why President Trump has sent the National Guard in many American cities, because what I just saw in that video looks like a third world country. That has no business happening in the United States of America. And if folks like this police chief won't stand up and lead, then President Trump will intervene. And I got to tell you, the people of Cincinnati will welcome it. And I believe the governor, the Republican governor of Ohio, would also welcome it, because people want to feel safe. They want to be safe in their communities. That's not something far-fetched to ask for, not something crazy to demand. It's an expectation, and it's a very reasonable one.
CJ Pearson, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.